Hello, what's going on? What's going on? I bet y'all like CJ, Cliff, where the video? Yes, we don't have one right now because something has happened. Always something going on technology wise with me, but I still gotta make sure that the show goes on, man, regardless. So, welcome everyone to the feature with Cliff Jackson III. I am your host, CJ3. I am he. Forgive me, everyone, for not having a visual right now for you. But as you can hear the sound of my voice, if you are tuning into this thing live or on the replay, you just don't want to miss this one today. Earlier today, I had a special edition of the feature today, and it was about we had a great opportunity to be in sit in on a meeting, the Youth Development Community Conversation today, man, that was hosted by the South City Foundation, and we're gonna get into that, those highlights, and a little bit of that conversation later on in the show. But man, so happy that you all are here. Welcome to all my features. If y'all can see my fingers flashing, if not, it's all good. But just trust me, they are flinging at you guys. My phalanges are flinging at you. Just to say hello, thank you for all my features out there that are consistent, everyday listeners and tuning into the show, man. I appreciate it with all my heart. And for those who are tuning into the show for the first time, man, for those who are watching this thing somewhere on YouTube, the Twitch, or on Facebook, thank you for tuning in to those channels. Please go subscribe to those channels. If it is, like I said, if this is your first time watching the show, you heard about us through the grapevine, man, welcome to the show, man. So thankful that you're here. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that, man. So I graciously do. Without further ado, gonna get into the show. If you want to be on the show, if you know some people who should be on the show, please email me at thefeature.cj3@gmail.com or hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at the same handle, at the feature with CJ3. I'm on every single day, Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Go subscribe to those channels. Listen and download us on all major outlets and podcasts. Please do. Or wherever you enjoy your podcast. And donate and support the cause. Donate and support to the cause. If you love the message that comes on the feature, the stuff that it displays on the feature, please keep us on the air, man. Keep us going. Keep us happening right now. Keep us relevant. On Cash App at $ Right Touch Sports. PayPal, paypal.me/RightTouchCJ3. Or on Anchor at anchor.fm/the featured with CJ3. And you don't want to miss this show this weekend, this Friday. Coming up, awesome woman and individual, Miss Kentisha Mazik, public figure, founder of Felita's Love. She is the proud owner of this awesome organization. It's a non-profit organization for individuals who are suffering from colon cancer. She sparked this non-profit in the wake and the result of her mother's death, dying from colon cancer. So this is an inspirational yet motivational conversation that I don't want nobody to miss, man. So please be here this weekend, August 7th, on Friday, 9 p.m. right here on the feature, like how we do it. You already know how we get it there, man. We don't play with it. So without further ado, want to just kind of touch a little bit about the youth development community conversation that we had today. That was a special edition of the feature today, phenomenally hosted by the South City Foundation, a great organization that I am a part of, and just happy to be doing this great work, man, that they are facilitating. Today we had a very impactful conversation with some very impactful individuals here in our city of Tallahassee, Florida, the capital of Florida. For those who are listening and don't know that, um, this city is definitely a city that's always been on the rise. There's so much great positive work here, but it's just a lot of negative people, and a lot of the negative people that are here in Tallahassee, they get inside the minds of our youth. And today we had an awesome conversation today, man, with some of our community leaders and some of our people who are doing great work in the community with our youth. People from Royce King, who is over the DYG movement, the Distinguished Young Gentleman organization. We had Dr. Willie Williams, who's over PACE. We had the sensational and awesome Christique Henry, who is the integration and family community and family community engagement and integration director for South City Foundation. We had Courtney, who is the executive director for South City Foundation. And I mean, we just had a list of great people. Tyrone McGriff, AD at Florida High, who had recently just kind of dealt with a crazy situation at his school, dealing with one of the players there and kids coming on his campus to do some crazy vile acts of violence to one of their student athletes. So we had a lot of great empowering people on this call. We had people who could really, really make an impact, and a lot of these people made some very huge statements. They made some very key points. They had a lot of great things to say. One of the things that I can just share with you all that was one of the main highlight of the night from the conversation was the explosion of youth programs that need to be developed and installed here in our community. And I think that was a great statement made. Reason why we need a lot of organizations. We need a lot of programs here in this city for a lot of our youth. We need programs here for our youth to not to say. And I had a conversation earlier today with a very beautiful woman on the live feed about the type of organizations that are really out here in Tallahassee. And there's nothing wrong with, the young organizations that portray or display the fraternities and things of that nature, like a Kappa League. I was a part of Kappa League, so it's totally understandable. You have your young distinguished gentlemen who do great work in the community and everything of that nature. However, as I look at a lot of those young men, and I'm not saying I don't know where they all come from, I don't know where their makeup is, but I don't know how many of those kids actually come from the hood. And not saying in the hood to say that they're, thugged out or anything like that, but kids who may really come from low income families, who may not have that the finances to be a part of something of that nature, or may not have the grades, may be facing or suffering something totally different outside of what some of these other kids may be facing. Some of these kids who are in these programs, yeah, they're dealing with single parent households, but yet they're dealing with a single parent household with a single parent who may have a pretty decent career, who actually may have a car and a house or an apartment or condo of some sort, where they are living comfortably. I understand everybody struggles with their own struggle, but yet and still these programs are designed towards people who are doing good or who may be on the cusp of going bad, but yet you want them to see something a little different. I'm not going to say that those programs don't work, because they do, and there's a lot of great people who've come from those programs. But right now, those programs aren't the type of programs that are needed in the streets. The type of programs that's needed right now for these kids in the streets are the type of programs that these kids can identify themselves with, as far as those type of programs where these kids will allow themselves to be able to understand who they are and what they're doing and why they're even out there in the streets. A lot of the reasons why these kids are out there because they're depressed. They have low self-esteem, or they may be influenced by individuals who may be leading them astray. The only way we can get to these kids early to prevent this type of behaviors and things of that nature, if we get into these kids' faces and in their ears and in their homes with the parents early. It starts early. You have to do this early. One of the main things that also stood out tonight was consistent contact. Stay in contact with these kids consistently. Always calling them, always making sure that they're okay. Following the process of how these kids' lives go from when you are around them in elementary school, middle school, high school, when they're matriculating to college. If you're a teacher, if you're a mentor, if you're a coach, if you're somebody, however, some way involved in these kids' lives, somehow, some way. This is the type of way you develop that type of recording or paper trail, or just the way you keep tabs on these kids to see how they're matriculating into the next phases of their life. Constant contact is one of those things that you must have. Stand in contact, stand in touch, reaching out to these kids, reaching back out to these kids, letting these people know, letting these young people know that you really do genuinely love and care for them. Because sometimes, majority of the times that these kids living in these bad situations at home, the only time that they only see, feel, and think love and know love and see love is when they're probably around you. It's when they're probably at school. It's probably when they're in your environment, your ambiance, or wherever you are doing what you do, where these kids are watching you and you're being an example, but yet you're giving them something that they're not receiving at home. And this is something that you have to be mindful at, because every kid isn't your kid, and every kid isn't receiving the same type of treatment and attention that you may have gotten or your children may be getting. So just got to be mindful of those things. Another thing that stood out was it came from an older gentleman tonight. I can't remember his name. Please forgive me. But I know he said his initials was DR. And he said something that was so vital tonight that I think a lot of people didn't even really listen to this man, because they started talking about these damn other programs like DYG and all this stuff, about how these programs and this, that, and third. I'm like, look, these type of programs are not the answer, and I'm not bashing them whatsoever. They're just not the damn answer. This man literally gave the best answer in the world, and it has nothing to do with even trying to grab kids from these particular organizations. But he said we need to get kids involved in the process of giving us, the adults, the idea and the understanding to them what it means for them to be safe. What it means for them, what is safety for them? How do they feel safe? How do they make themselves safe? That's the conversation that we need to be having. What steps can we take, or do they need to instruct us to take in order for us to be able to guide, direct, help them, protect them from the dangers that they are going to constantly come across, see, and face in due time with life. And this is where it all begins. It starts with these type of conversations. I was so happy to be a part of this talk tonight, man, because it only showcased and led me to believe and realize that yes, we aren't far. We have a long way to go, but we aren't far from getting to where we really want to be, as far as a people, as far as not just I don't want to say a race, but just as far as a people who are supposed to be protecting these young people, and showcasing to them that their life is really all they have right now. And what are we going to do in order for us to showcase to them that, you know, they are everything to us. You know, they mean the world to us, and we are trying to put them in a good perspective to lead them the right way going forward. We have to get these kids involved in order for us to understand where they are coming from. They know themselves better than we can even fathom trying to, you know, figure it out what it is about these kids that we can make happen and make better. But it's up to them. It's up to them to tell us, and it's up to us to implement and foresee out exactly what it is that they're asking of us. This conversation was deep tonight, man. I was very happy to be a part of it and to hear everybody's input and to hear everybody's insight and just how they feel, the great work that they're doing across the state, the city, the globe, as far as getting that information and this type of stuff across. We got to learn to keep everybody accountable for what they're doing. At the same time, we have to be able to make sure that we are consistently reaching out to these kids, reaching out to their parents, staying in touch with them, finding out things about what's going on with them, finding out what they need. We need to really be a community within the community for our kids. And the only way we do that if we start getting involved with one another and more so getting in the streets. Not the streets, my girl Christy said. She said the streets. We need to get in the streets and go make this thing happen, man. We got to. That's the only way we're going to really, really come together and be able to pull together exactly what it is, where we're trying to go, and what we're trying to be, man. Great conversation. If you missed it, it is posted on my page. It's the youth development community conversation that we had today, man. If you guys missed it, you missed a treat. I just hope you will definitely go back and hear that conversation. And just to see all the great people that were on there. Jayla White from for the Young Girls to Divas organization that she has. It was just so many great, impactful people on this call, and I was just so happy to be a part of it. And man, who knows what's about to take place in the next coming future, man. So. Just be mindful of everything, man, and take everything in stride of what we're telling you, because the children are our future, man, and we have to really make sure we stay mindful of that. If you want to be on the featured, please contact me on the featured at Gmail, on email at thefeatured.cj3@gmail.com. Contact me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at all the same handles at the featured with CJ3 on every single day, man, Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Please go subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels and listen and download us on all major podcast outlets or wherever you go enjoy your podcast. And please donate and support. Please send your donations to our Cash App at $ Right Touch Sports. PayPal, paypal.me/RightTouchCJ3, or on our Anchor account at anchor.fm/the featured with CJ3. And our next Feature Friday's guest is none other than Miss Kentisha Mazik, public figure and founder of Felita's Love, organization dealing with colon cancer patients. Started this organization after the death of her mother, and has been raising money for cancer patients ever since. Can't wait to hear this tremendous story and her journey and her life. Looking forward to it this weekend, this Friday, August the 7th, right here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch on the featured at 9 p.m. Well, y'all know what time it is, man. I mean, I hate it, but yeah, it's the song of the night. Y'all see that big gray screen, man? That's what's been going on all my stuff, man. Like, I can't see nothing, yo. Like, nothing's coming through. I don't know what it is, but we're going to figure this thing out, man. I swear we're going to figure it out. Hopefully we'll have this thing situated straight by tomorrow. But tonight's song of the night, man, the featured song of the night. I know I spoke with y'all earlier throughout the week, this week and last week, playing my group, Soul in the City, group that I was a part of in college back in the early 2000s of my life. Before this thing really kicked off. But yes, man, so we still rolling, we still promoting our music, we still putting it out there. I haven't promoted this thing fully yet, but just on my show. I haven't posted it on any pages or Facebooks or Spotify's or iTunes yet, because I'm listening to the public right now just a little bit. I'm just letting this thing grow organically, man, and it's going to get there. But tonight, especially with the conversation that took place tonight with the youth, and the conversation that's constantly taking place with our black people, our racist people, the conversations we having with white people, with black and brown people, everybody. This song right here is one I produced. Actually, it's me. It's an actual solo song of me, by me. Um, this is a song that's literally a prayer for everybody, and this one is needed across the country, across the world, across the globe, especially for those who are grieving deaths, grieving unsafe issues at home, and just grieving just a lot of things that's happening right now, man. COVID-19, family bad, murders and things of that nature. This song is for y'all, man. So tonight, my song is called "A Prayer for Those," written and produced by yours truly. Enjoy.
Prayer request reaches you in time. A lot's been happening lately and it's too much for my mind. Stuff I can't control, it makes me mad. But I seem to have it all under control, so I'm glad. But why do I feel so sad? It's kind of confusing. On the inside, life hurts, but on the outside, it's so amusing. Some people let you down and people stand you up. And sometimes I feel like quitting and just completely giving up. But you tend to keep me on course, like you was the jockey and utilizing me as your horse. Hard work pays off in the end, and too much work is a sin. So I'm thankful that I have you to depend on, cause friends have done me real wrong. One minute they're there for you, then the next minute they're gone. Cause friends, they talk about you good and bad behind your back, and mostly bad. And I wonder, how can they do me like that? Some wanted to leave, some I let go. Some I love feeling, and some just didn't know. I'm too blessed to be stressed. Who do I need to impress? I know it's only a test, but they won't conquer the best. Lord, help me as I pray for those, my loved ones, myself, even my friends and my foes. Cause life is short and nobody knows the day that they'll go. So while I'm still alive, help me as I pray for those. Lord, help me as I pray for those, my loved ones, myself, even my friends and my foes. Cause life is short and nobody knows the day that they'll go. So while I'm still alive, help me as I pray for those. These trials, I don't know how much more I can take. Overburdened, but I gotta keep the faith. Even when I did my dirt, I never said I was perfect, but you saved me from that, so I guess you seen I was worth it. I did things I'm not proud of, things I like to forget, things real immature and things that don't make no sense. But triumphantly, I still reign victorious, and to come through what I've been through, I find quite glorious. I ask you here today, on my knees as I pray, that you continue to make a way and keep me out of harm's way. It seems like everyone is scared to talk about you, but that's what makes me different, cause I love to talk about you. You're the reason why I get to do the things that I do. You're the reason why old things can turn back new, and you're the reason why things die, they come back alive like surprise. And when I open my eyes, I already know that it's you. You're amazing, miraculous, the truth and the light. You're the bread of heaven and you're the head of my life. You're the only one that can turn my darkness to light, and you're the only one that can take all my wrongs and turn them right. Lord, help me as I pray for those, my loved ones, myself, even my friends and my foes. Cause life is short and nobody knows the day that they'll go. So while I'm still alive, help me as I pray for those. Lord, help me as I pray for those, my loved ones, myself, even my friends and my foes. Cause life is short and nobody knows the day that they'll go. So while I'm still alive, help me as I pray for those. Lord, I know one day all my days will be gone, so tell my nieces and nephews to be strong and hold on, and let them know, God, that you don't make no mistakes. And life does get rough, but it has to be that way. And tell my sisters KJ, TJ, and KC that I love them all to death, and siblings we will always be. That'll never change, we'll be close forever, cause a family that prays together stays together. And I pray for my mother, cause she was always there when nobody else did. She was that woman who cared. And to my pops, I didn't always understand, but now that I'm a man, I kinda understand your plan. Just let the Lord guide you all and allow him to build y'all strong, so that no one will ever have to fall. And after all y'all done all that you can, don't do nothing else, just stand. And in Jesus' name I pray. Lord, help me as I pray for those, my loved ones, myself, even my friends and my foes. Cause life is short and nobody knows the day that they'll go. So while I'm still alive, help me as I pray for those. Lord, help me as I pray for those, my loved ones, myself, even my friends and my foes. Cause life is short and nobody knows the day that they'll go. So while I'm still alive, help me as I pray for those. Lord, help me as I pray for those, my loved ones, myself, even my friends and my foes. Cause life is short and nobody knows the day that they'll go. So while I'm still alive, help me as I pray for those. Lord, help me as I pray for those, my loved ones, myself, even my friends and my foes. Cause life is short and nobody knows the day that they'll go. So while I'm still alive, help me as I pray for those.
Tune in this weekend, man. This Friday, Kentisha Mazik, man, my next featured Friday's guest, August 7th, 9 p.m. right here on the feature. Don't want to miss this show, I promise you. Public figure, founder of Felita's Love, an organization she started after the death of her mother, died of colon cancer. This conversation is so motivational, so inspirational. I need you guys here on Friday, 9 p.m. right here. Don't miss this, man. You'll be mad at yourself. Heard it here first. I'm just saying. Alright, man. Well, you already know what time it is. It's not like y'all can see me. So you can only hear me. But for those who've been sticking this thing out and listening to your boy, man, I appreciate it. I know y'all been wanting to see that smile. But we're going to keep rolling, man. We're going to do it like this. It's now time for another one of them CJ3s. True stories. And this is the part of the show where I get real. Tell a few real situations on what's going on, what's happening. And I just tell true stories that's based off of the topic or the guest that we have coming up. And based on the topic, I definitely want to give, a true story based off of the topic. So, youth development. This conversation was so serious because, it also, it just brought the truth, the reality of just real, like everything that has happened in that conversation tonight. It allowed me to know and assured me to know that I'm doing those things in which we spoke of. The constant communication with kids, being in touch with them, always being in their life, and allowing them to be in the conversation about, things and policies and stuff for what they believe and what's safe for them. And my conversation with these kids, man, is real. But one in particular conversation, I just recently had this conversation last night. It's amazing when you can see a kid come from a place of agile, a kid who has all the potential in the world, has the support behind them, but don't want to face it, don't want to take it and accept it, want to be bad, want to do bad, smart as a whistle, but don't want to do the work. Yeah, this was this kid. For those who know this kid, exceptionally well student. I coached him in basketball at Bethel Christian Academy. Jakari Bush, I hope he watching, I hope he listening. But Jakari could play basketball, had great feet, and I used to always tell Jakari, you need to play football. In 8th grade, he took me up on that and went to Griffin and played on their undefeated football team. From Griffin, he went to Gabi, played on some very high-profile football games and teams with Gabi. And I used to always tell him in school, all right, boy, you best around, you fuck around, end up at my alma mater, you be the man. Guess what? He got a full ride to go to Edward Waters College. And I didn't even know anything about it until I saw his mom post a picture of him in the dorms at Morris Cone. And I knew she was happy, but I could tell that she had a lot of tears in her eyes too. Shout out to Sean the Cummins, keep way to raise this boy, man. And I reached out to them. As soon as I found out this boy was going to EWC, I'm talking about I found out on the net. I called him, I called her, I called his sister, I called everybody to make sure that I was to reach out to this kid to let him know I'm still here for you. I still got your back. I know a lot of people in the area where you are. I know the head coach. I know the president. Like, son, you're going to be good. You're straight. I called him. We talked. I even introduced him to a kid that I helped, that I've talked about on this show before. Kid who lost his mother a couple of weeks ago on Father's Day. The young man, Pernell Sylvester, reached out to him, gave each other's numbers so that they could get in touch with each other and communicate. And guess what? They reached out to each other today and they got in touch with each other. Communication, putting people in a better situation, developing them, giving them a success formula of a village of people that you know are just extensions of you. That's what it takes. That's what it's all about. Because before this kid left here, he was held up at gunpoint at his job. At his job. Held up at gunpoint. Right here in Tallahassee. Could have been dead and gone. Another one of my students could have been dead and gone. I could have been talking about him tonight in a totally different light. Especially based off of this youth development conversation we just had in the meeting that we just had tonight. I need for y'all to understand, I can't protect everybody's life. Neither can you, and neither was this conversation about being on the streets, being superheroes. It wasn't that conversation. But we definitely got to do something to cease the violence, let alone to cease the thought and the actions of violence. I hope everybody tonight, man, is moved by the story. I hope everybody tonight is just moved, period, about what's happening as far as where we're going, where we're headed, and what we're trying to do as a community and as a whole, man. If nothing else, I just hope you guys are good, man. Stay safe. Please stay safe. Stay smart. Stay clean. And most importantly of all, man, please stay home. I love you guys. To all my young sisters and brothers out there, please keep your heads up. Stay home. Stay safe. Protect each other. Love each other. To all these adults out here that we doing all this great conversation. Great work tonight. Great conversations, but there is so much work to be done that we need to do out here in these streets. So we're going to make that happen. But until then, man, tomorrow, I will see you guys tomorrow. It's Wednesday. I'm hoping, Lord's willing, we will definitely have a visual tomorrow for everybody. That is hopefully going to take place. But until then, man, I'll holler at y'all. Good night. I love you. There ain't too much y'all asses can do about it. Yeah.
Straight from South City on my pursuit to be happy. Came up out the hood with my hair on nappy, cut it all off. Plus some name after my pappy. The streets tried to trap me, but I had to escape. For my destiny awaits for me to be great, and I knew it. So I quit, had to show improvement when I do it. Flow was stupid, now you loving me like Cupid, and I know that you wasn't ready for this. I'm so on point with my target, so sure I won't miss. Just the past, present, and the future. 6 squared, the household name, something to get used to. I'm here.